All right, Xfinity Open at Las Vegas. So this is going to be a paid setup for the week, but you can find this setup at Maconi Setup Shop, and I will be doing the guide for the qual and the race. So for the qual, we can actually flat out this lap if we run about a lane to a lane and a half off the bottom. The bottom doesn't really grip up if you go full throttle. So the whole goal of this is we can go full throttle, and then our time is going to come from not sliding our tires. So it's going to be easy to step out and kind of do a little tiny drift, but that's scrub speed. So it's better to lift a little bit and not engage and not disengage your tires at all. And then I think we'll be going for a second lap here. I've been trying to make first lap work, but I just can't quite get up to speed. There's definitely a little bit of a advantage going second lap. So we'll just be chilling a little bit, kind of building up our speed. And now we'll start going. So this is the line we'll be taking, kind of arcing into this middle line right here. And then 3 and 4, it's going to be a lot easier to slide because the entry of the corner is a little more tight. So I lifted a little bit so I could just hook up my tires as best as possible so that I can go full throttle. And I go all the way down. Definitely can cut here. Now we're going to just go full throttle. Try not to disengage, run this middle line. Pretty good job of not sliding any tires. Could have been a little lower, but I would rather not slide a tire than be a little high. All right, this is going to slide a little bit more, so I'm just going to try to manage it. Yes, that's really good.
Water temp is getting high.
Oh, my wheel disconnected. Well, that was a good time for my wheel to disconnect, I guess, because I crossed the finish line. We'll take a look a little bit at this. It is full throttle, but it has a little bit of difficulty to it. Glad that didn't happen in a race. That's been happening with my wheel very periodically, but it's never happened in a race, and I think that's very lucky of me. Maybe like once every, I want to say 5 hours of gameplay that happens once. So coming up to the lap here, I'm doing a little bit of a lift just so that I don't slide any tires here. I want to be like completely hooked up to get that maximum run up. Because if you're full throttle and you're not hooked up, you're not getting the run up. So I found this amount of wheel that I could use with this car. So I do a little early turn. Notice how I'm pointing my car before I dip into the banking. I point my car essentially right at this seam right here. And then I just hold my wheel to where I know that my right rear won't step out. It's pretty predictable in this setup. The setup feels weird. And I mean, that's how all these open qualifying setups feel. It feels like extremely grounded, but you can really hook or knock the balance out of the car with just one wrong move. So I'm really trying to keep my wheel as still as possible. You can even see through the fast forward, I'm like barely changing the wheel. So try to find that wheel angle that you can just hold in the middle of the corner and you won't step out your car and it won't, and it's enough to turn the car. Same thing for here. Turning before the banking dips. And then it's a little bit looser here. You can see I'm making more micro adjustments, but I'm basically just trying to keep the car from bogging down. And anytime the car bogs down is when it's not completely hooked up in the track. So you'll find that you could lose like upwards of a tenth just because you do one slide and you lose that amount of miles per hour. And that just killed me. I can't. That's crazy, isn't it? Good timing for that. All right. I am going to black out my screen for a second and change my setups. All right. Go to Las Vegas race. Done. And then give you guys back. Oh, wrong thing. Professional streamer here. All right. So the race, it's not going to be quite that simple. It's not going to be full throttle. Now, qualifying, you usually end up full throttle at tracks like these. But race, we actually have to start thinking about tire management. So how do we manage tires on this set? Well, running the bottom is the first thing. Running the bottom is just better than running the top at saving tires. And getting that early turn in and just keeping the car rotating without letting the car straighten out. Now, this is different than fixed because in fixed, the car really loves to lean on the right front. On a good open set like this, the car will be pretty balanced. So as long as we're not sliding our tires, then we're going to be pretty okay. So a little lift into the corner, get the car turning, and then you can just see that the car pretty much is just rotating itself. You can see it can potentially get a little bit loose in 3 and 4. If you do that too much, that's when you'll start creating a wear imbalance to your right rear. And you do not want that. You don't want any heat imbalance. 1 and 2, you can definitely keep it a lot more stable. The car is slightly snug in 1 and 2, and then slightly free in 3 and 4. So you have to adjust your driving style depending per corner. A lot of the times you can just wear tires because you're approaching the corners exactly the same way. And if you're approaching the corners exactly the same way, if the corners are shaped differently, then something's got to give. So in 1, we kind of have this wider entry into the corner. And it's going to be a little bit tempting to full throttle really early and have the car slide up the track. But no, we just kind of keep it on its groove, and the corner will tighten up a little bit. 3 and 4, we got to be a little bit easier getting into the corner. But once we're in there, we can just go. And I got a little loose there. So just keep in mind how you're approaching these corners so that you can drive as neutrally as possible in each of them. Because the way that this setup works is that you'll be able to drive each corner neutrally, but you might have to change your driving style per the corner in order to achieve that. A setup can't fix fundamentally incorrect driving. I say that very confidently as if I run open sets usually, but I really do believe that. It's very comfortable though. Very comfortable. Once you know that you want to avoid slight snugness in 1 and 2 and slight looseness in 3 and 4, then you can just kind of roll. Draft is going to be big too, of course. See, a little bit bigger lift in 3 and 4 just allows me to use the natural looseness of that corner and just rotate the car through it. But yeah, pretty straightforward. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope to see you all on the track.